Hey, what the hell's going on? How are you? My name is Nick Digilio. Look at your face. It's a nice face. It's got a good face structure, face-wise. You know what a face is. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for checking out my YouTube page. Tons of videos here, like over 170 or so. Scroll down. They go back months and months and months and months. Different topics, different things. Movie reviews. There are a lot of those. Just stories in general, personal stories, theater stories, books, music, everything you could possibly think of. It's all there. Check it out, and check out my Patreon page, where you can donate, and you can be a cool person and donate, which will help a lot. $3, $5, $25 a month. $3 a month, you can handle that, I think. That's a Slurpee and a Slim Jim, for Christ's sake. You can afford that. Throw it my way. Patreon.com/NickD Show. Pick a tier, donate today, become a patron. You get bonus materials that you can't get anyplace else, including the behind-the-scenes story of what really happened. Several videos over there at Patreon are about what really happened at WGN, talking about how, terrible the car wash radio station is. But anyway, you can get that too. But donate right now, patreon.com/NickD Show. I got a podcast, Nick D Podcast, RadioMisfits.com, every Tuesday and every Friday. New episodes. Google the Nick D Podcast. It's available on every single format. So today is August 13th. That is International Left-Handers Day. That's right. International Left-Handers Day. That's right. Represent. It is International Left-Handers Day. I'm left-handed. I'm proud of it. The majority of people in this world are right-handed. And the majority of things in this world are made for right-handed people. And as a left-handed person, if you are a lefty, you know this. We've been fucked over since birth. It's a world that is made for right-handed people. It is a world where the left-handed person is not only discriminated against, but actively told to not do what they should do with their natural abilities as left-handed people. So I thought I would just mention that we should celebrate International Left-Handed Day. If you're left-handed, right on. Let's stay together. We got to stick together. We got to stand up for ourselves. We got to fight the power. We got to fight as a lefty. If you're not a lefty, you should understand that you're not as good as us. That's basically what you should. If you're right-handed, I'm sorry to say this to you, but you're just not as good as us. Lefties are better. Not only are we more creative, not only are we more intelligent, not only are we more gifted, but we've had to deal with a bunch of shit thrown at us because we're left-handed for years. Look at this. This is a left-handed pen. So that if you hold it, as a left-handed person, it's got a lovely little cap, left-handed pen. Because if you hold a pen incorrect, in the left-handed way, in the way that a lot of people left-handed way, you write very unusually, and then you end up with ink all on your hand. Okay? Spiral notebooks are made for right-handed people. So now that I have spiral notebooks that are actually made for left-handed people, where the spiral is on the other side, and that the paper is made to make it look like it is, written. You're supposed to write left, left to right, but our hands rub against the page, and we end up with ink all over our hands. You never had to deal with that when you were a right-handed person. As a left-handed person, we've had to relearn things. Almost every appliance, almost every gadget, almost everything in the world is exclusively made for right-handed people. I had to learn how to cut with scissors right-handed. There are so many things that I've had to do in my right hand. And it's interesting because I guess I'm ambidextrous in a couple of ways, because I'm a switch hitter at baseball, but my natural hitting is righty. I throw righty. I bowl lefty. I shoot pool left-handed. I write lefty. I eat and cut food and chop vegetables with my left hand. And most of everything else I do with my right hand or my left hand, but I can do things with my right hand, sort of off. So yeah. But other things I had to learn, like I had to learn how to use right-handed scissors. Now there are things that have been made exclusively for lefties. So you can find those. You can find left-handed scissors. You can find left-handed can openers, for Christ's sake. Can openers are made for right-handed people. Everything is made for right-handed people, you assholes. Everything. And it gets a little bit tiresome when you're left-handed and you have to deal with it. And it gets to the point where I'm of a certain age. I don't know if this has happened to younger people who are left-handed, but I know that this is a shared thing. When I was a kid and I was in first grade, which would make me about 6 years old. And this would be around 1971 when I was about that age, about 1971. I remember I was called up to the front of the classroom, to the chalkboard, and was told to write like a bit of the alphabet or something. I was told to write something on the board. And the teacher, who was in her 80s at that time and should have retired 10 years earlier, said, "Come up to the board, Nicholas." I guess I was Nicholas then, or Nicky. I was Nicky a lot when I was a kid. Whatever it was. "Come up to the board and write this on the board." So I took the chalk and I put it in my left hand. And I went up to the chalkboard and I started to write with my left hand. And the teacher, oh fuck it, I'll name her name. Her name was Mrs. Hopp. Hopp, Mrs. Hopp. She's long dead. I mean, she was 80 in 1971, so she's clearly dead. But anyway, Mrs. Hopp decided that she was going to slap the shit out of my hand. I put the chalk in my left hand. Went up to write, and she smashed my hand and took the chalk out of my left hand and put it in my right hand and said, "No, no, no, no. Now do it again." So I started to write with my right hand, but it didn't feel right. I wasn't comfortable, so I just put it back into my left hand, and I started to write with my left hand again, and she slapped the shit out of my hand again and said, "No, I told you no. It goes into this hand." So this happened several times. I would walk up, put the chalk in my left hand, and she would slap the shit out of my hand and yell at me and say that was wrong. It was wrong, 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 wrong. And then it got to the point where my mom actually had to go to school and talk to the principal and go, "Here's the thing, Jagoff. My son's left-handed. So you might want to tell Mrs. Hop-ass to stop smashing my son's hand every time he attempts to write something with his left hand and force him to write in his right hand." It got to the point where she was actually said, "I'm going to tie your hand behind your back if you continue to do that." And then I've heard stories from lefties out there who were forced to stop using their left hand, who were naturally left-handed, but then were forced to use their right hand. And this has happened a lot to people my age and older. I know it doesn't happen very often anymore, because now it's sort of embraced. If you're a lefty, it's sort of embraced. But it was not cool then. And this woman was 80 in 1971, which means she was born in like the 1800s, when they actually thought that left-handed people were Satan. And I know you know this. Left-handed people were considered devilish. They were related to the devil. We were evil. We were evil. Oh my God, left-handed people are evil. It's a sign of the devil if you use your left hand. And back in the 1800s, that shit was real. And even into the early in the century and mid to the 20th century, kids were still getting their hands tied behind their back. They were forced to learn right-handed. If you look at the old desks, back in the days when there were inkwells, when kids would use inkwells, what side of the desk is the inkwell on? The right side. What side is this on? Everything is made for right-handed people. As I mentioned before, all gadgets, all tools, everything is made for right-handed people. So as lefties, we've had to adjust our whole lives to the point where we were even almost forced, as my case, to stop using my left hand and use my right hand. And this has happened. There are people who have been retrained, who have been trained to use their right hand, and it's not fair. Left-handed people, they've done studies. Apparently we're more creative. Apparently because we have to use our right brain a little bit more. It opens up the creativity in our mind. I don't know the scientific stuff, but everything I've ever read over the years, because I'm obviously interested because I'm a lefty, indicates to me that lefties are more creative, they're more open, and they do more, more creative things come out of left-handed people than right-handed people. And so there you go. Now there are left-handed things that are out there, like this is a left-handed pen. I have to have some left-handed spiral notebooks. But yeah, as a lefty, it's just been, sit at a table in a restaurant. If you're in a booth and you're next to somebody who's right-handed, bong, bang, bing, boom. We got to sit on the end or in the corner. They put us off in the corner because we're relegated. We have to go stand over there. You're wrong. You're left-handed, blah, blah, blah. And we get one day a year where we can celebrate our differentness, our weirdness. A lot of people think we're weird. And I will say this, and I think this is true of all left-handed people. As a lefty, I always point out lefties. Like whenever I see a lefty, I go, "Lefty." Every girl that I've ever dated, every woman I've ever married, I've never dated or been with a left-handed woman, which is probably why I don't have a girlfriend right now, and probably why I've been divorced twice. I think I need to find a left-handed woman. I think that's ultimately what I have to do. I got to find myself a lefty. I think that'll knock a bunch of barriers out of the way of bullshit relationship stuff. But So I've never had to, I've never been in a relationship with a left-handed woman. It's always right-handed, and it's always been, you've always got these things set up in your head about what you have to do when you're left-handed, and you have to put up with a lot of shit. So in the world of being right-handed, we are lefties, and you have to celebrate that. So today is International Left-Handed Day. Let's celebrate all things left-handed. And let me fly down a list of a bunch of people who are left-handed who are famous. And there are a lot of famous left-handed people, and I think we're missing some on this list. But we lefties, we have a lot of great representatives in our world. A lot of very creative people are left-handed, like I said. Oprah Winfrey is a lefty. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was lefty. Prince William is a lefty. Neil Armstrong, left-handed. Leonardo da Vinci, left-handed. Paul McCartney, obviously, left-handed. Napoleon was left-handed. Barack Obama, many presidents were left-handed. Clinton is a lefty. I think W a lefty? No, his dad, the other Bush, was a lefty. Angelina Jolie is lefty. Keanu Reeves is lefty. Lady Gaga is left-handed. Bill Gates is left-handed. Jimi Hendrix, obviously, left-handed. Julia Roberts is a lefty. Seth Rogen is lefty, so he holds his doobie in his left hand when he smokes pot. Charlie Chaplin was lefty. Morgan Freeman is lefty. Lewis Carroll is lefty. Hugh Jackman, lefty. Joan of Arc was left-handed. Mozart was lefty. Helen Keller was lefty. Emma Thompson is lefty. Babe Ruth, obviously, left-handed. Matt Groening is lefty. Obviously, he's lefty because they made a big deal out of being left-handed on The Simpsons. A lot of the main characters are lefty. Lefties were well represented on, obviously, Flanders with the Leftorium. Clearly, he's left-handed. But there are many characters on The Simpsons who are left-handed. Being left-handed is celebrated on that show because Groening and many of the original writers of The Simpsons, John Swartzwelder, a lot of the original people who created The Simpsons, all going back to Tracy Ullman's show, were lefties. And Matt Groening has been one of the champions of the left-handed world for his entire career. And I salute Matt Groening for representing and celebrating the world of being a lefty and representing it so well on The Simpsons. Not just through Flanders, but there are a ton of characters who are left-handed in The Simpsons, and it's easy to spot. So Groening, left-handed. Let's see, who else? Michelangelo was left-handed. Aristotle was left-handed. Annie Lennox is left-handed. Spike Lee is left-handed. Harpo Marx was left-handed. Judy Garland was left-handed. Julius Caesar was left-handed. Celine Dion, she was left-handed. Kurt Cobain, obviously, famously left-handed. David Bowie, left-handed. Mother Teresa, left-handed. Gordon Ramsay, left-handed. It goes on and on and on. I mean, there's more here. Let me see if there's more. James Cameron, director James Cameron, is left-handed. Let's see, who else? Matt Dillon, Robert De Niro, Tom Cruise, Jim Carrey, Whoopi Goldberg, Nicole Kidman, Val Kilmer, Lisa Kudrow, Marilyn Monroe, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Saunders, Sylvester Stallone, Chewbacca the Wookiee is left-handed. Drew Barrymore is left-handed. Kim Basinger is left-handed. Kenneth Branagh is left-handed. Let's see, who else? Bart Simpson is left-handed. We know that already. In music, Eminem is left-handed. Noel Gallagher is left-handed. Bob Geldof is left-handed. Ricky Martin is left-handed. Sting is left-handed, although he does play bass and guitar right-handed. I do too. I play guitar right-handed, but I play drums lefty. When I play drums, I have to switch the whole thing. Ted Koppel is left-handed. Tim Allen is left-handed. Let's see, who else? Rick Mayall, Uri Geller, Albert Einstein was lefty. Jack the Ripper was a lefty. Aristotle, as I mentioned, Aristotle already. Henry Ford, Winston Churchill was left-handed. Pele was left-footed and left-handed. John McEnroe was lefty, and it goes on and on and on. So we are represented big time. We are left-handed, and we are proud of it. Today is International Left-Handed Day. If you're lefty, celebrate. If you're righty, do something nice for a left-handed person out there because you've been fucking them over forever, and the world has been against us. So it's time for the left-handers to stand up and represent today and celebrate being left-handed. It is international. There's my left-handed pen. International Left-Handed Days. We are better than you, only you don't know it. Okay. And if you were at one point attempted to be trained to be right-handed, I know. Yeah, that almost happened to me. So anyway, left-handers unite. International Left-Handers Day. You right-handers, y'all suck.